Hello, I'm Micks Mowers and Mower Man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to take a little look at a lawnmower that I got come in. A gentleman has just recently started using me for his repairs and service work, and he's given me a HS80 to have a look at. Now, from what I understand, he may be a little bit short on cash, I'm not quite sure, but I did say to him that if you want me to repair the machine, you can come back later on and pay me. You can do it, up to you. But however, he did say he's got a lawnmower. I think it belongs to a customer of his, which they don't want. And he said, would I be interested in taking the lawnmower in as payment for getting the HS80 up and running? I said, okay, it's not a mower I've heard of before. It's called an Active. And I think my friend Klaus told me they're from Italy, I think. I'm not sure. But it looked to be some kind of commercial mower. As I say, I've not come across this brand before. But it looks to be quite well up there, and it's a four-wheeled mower, and I would like to blow all my leaves onto my lawn today and try and get them mulched up and collected if I can, because all my leaves have nearly dropped, so I'd like to get the garden sort of tidied up ready for winter. So I think he said there's only a problem with it, and that is the dead man's handle cable is actually broken. That one's looking at. Apart from that, he doesn't know. I don't think he's even had the machine running, so I could have done this fix for a bit of a lemon, but we shall see. Hopefully we can get it up and running. If it does run, we could be quids in come the springtime season when this mower will go to sell. Because I say, it does look like to be some kind of semi-professional commercial grade bit of mower. It's a 22-inch cut with an industrial commercial Briggs & Stratton overhead intake engine on top. It's got a varied drive, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about when you go outside and look at it in a bit. If this is the first time you're watching Micks Mowers and Mower Man, hit the subscribe button and whack the old bell. Set notifications to all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. And without further ado, let's get down and dirty. So look at this Active lawnmower whilst I'm waiting for parts for the HS80 to come in. Right, my lawn is absolutely saturated, but the leaves are down, so we've got to sort all them out. I have now, as I say, just taken, received this little tiny Active lawnmower. So I've never seen one before. It's not been one on my list of mowers I've picked up before, but it's come in as part exchange with this payment for this HS80, which has got rusty blades. I've got to look at that. It's got a fuel look apparently, but look at that. It's called an Active 5800 aluminium cast deck, 22-inch cut, 850 IC Briggs & Stratton engine. Gearbox is all down in there, looks to be sort of commercially built. So this could be a serious bit of kit. Obviously the problem is that it's not a maker I've heard of, and when I spoke to all my small engine fans this morning, friends, basically never heard of it either. So it could still be quite a hard sell because no one's ever heard of it. But I tell you something, it is a serious machine. Heavy, durable, throttle control and walking pace control. The bloke did say the box is a little bit flimsy, wants a bit of straightening up. I think it's just had something sat on it, but I can look into that. I think that's all it is, just something's just literally sat on it. It's just bowed out slightly. I'm not really quite sure what's gone on there, but it's all complete. It's just lost its sort of shape. I think something's just been sat on it, but it seals. So happy with that. Massive big grass box. Grass box is twice the size of a hater one, without a doubt. But for dead man's handle, cable is broke. Now what I'm hoping to do is a quick fix, just to put a new cable end on there. Let me just show you where it's gone. There's no fuel in it, that I do know. I'm hoping, as I say, it's a big old machine. I'd like to have one of these myself. That's all it is there, look, that's just broke there. So I can repair that, bosh bosh. There's a little bit of adjustment to be had on here as well, so I can bring that cable up a touch as well. But if I can repair that, then it stands a good chance of running, I suppose. So a good little out of season mower to get running. because it could be a little money earner coming new year. Right, so eventually got up on the bench. It only just about fits. But I'll tell you something, guys. This is a serious machine. This is all there. As I say, solid deck, commercial grade engine. Everything looks to be built to last, which is a good bit of kit to see. And it's 22-inch cut. It's slightly overfilled with oil. That I can see, unless someone's actually tried to fill it up with the non-screwing mark, but I think they have. I think they've actually just dipped it rather than do it all the way up. So I'll take a bit of oil out. I've got to move the exhaust bit round because that'll collect water and everything's left outside. There's no fuel in the tank, as I say, but the first thing I've got to do is sort out this brake lever, because the brake lever ain't doing nothing. So up here we've got a cable, this one here. There's a drive, that's all working by the looks of it. Seems to be doing what it should be doing. It's not moving a lot, so these cables might be a bit seized, so I might have to go a bit carefully here, Mick. I might have to do a bit of adjustment on these and a bit of oiling. I think that's possibly why it sort of failed initially. Let me just try and find out where this cable goes. That's the top one. There's one that sneaks around the front here somewhere. Where's that going? It goes all the way around, all the way around. Yeah, I think these cables are, they could be simplified, is what I think, because they are long. Right. So, I think first thing to do is just to cut that off. We'll cut that off, put a joint on. Hopefully I can get my joint to fit that. There's plenty of movement in here for me to make an adjustment. So, let me get hold of a cable crimping bit and I'm back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, so I've got my cable connecting tools. Let's just cut that bit of cable off of there. So the first thing we want to do, nice and tight as we can get it. That's that gone. And then I've got these Z bends, which should go on. So that will fit into there. No drama. Well, that might just go. I might just literally have to extend this cable slightly. So all you do is undo these little tiny nuts on here, undo those, slide that in so it fits, and you want to turn it round so it's going around the right way, and just do that up. Now once it's done up, here comes the rain again. I said we have had nothing but rain on this south coast, absolutely being mullered by rain at the moment. Just do it up with a pair of pliers. I'll do it up nice and tight, as tight as you can get. You do have a socket option or a flathead option, but I just find just a pair of pliers, you can just grab that and actually just twist the actual part itself. That's what I do, and it bites into that cable just nice. Once you've got it all the way, and going so far before it ends up snapping on you, that'll be about there. So that will possibly not going to be far out, Mick. How do you take that out? Little tiny flathead. I might just try and remove that nut there first. What's that going to be? It's going to be around about 13mm maybe. Yeah. Just going to loosen that off. Just enough to try and remove this cable a little bit. Just try and get a bit of movement. Just so I can get this dead man's cable up on. That's it. Once I get it in there, we can then just move that cable back. The only problem with doing this, of course, is that you go too far with it and you might want to shut the engine off. Let's just try and work that in without taking this dead man's handle cable off. It might go. I don't want to break anything, of course. Let's get that just to sneak into there. That's nearly there then. Oh, nearly. Nearly, baby. Oh, that's it, that's gone in. Right, that's gone in. So now we can pull this cable down. Back down out of the way again. to around about halfway, wherever it was. Let's try it there. Yeah, these cables are going to work. Oh, the door's trying to shut. Right, so the cable's now working. It doesn't actually give a lot of move. Oh, that's moved now because I've got that cable moving. Look. There you go. Right, so now that cable's moving, we can now nick that all up to where it used to be. So about halfway, so that's not too bad. It is a very tight fit though. I wouldn't even know where to find a cable for this. So it's not one I've seen before. I think it's going to have to come apart and be oiled up at some point. I don't even think the drive one's working. But hey ho. Now that should be the only reason why this machine won't start, as far as I'm aware. And I don't know if the machine's been left outside. Got no idea at all. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get my petrol, because my petrol's in my van, because I got some last night. And then we'll take it back outside and we'll go for a fire up. So because it should now, at the very least, let me take that HT lead off. It should now, at the very least, turn over. So I've got a Champion plug in there or something similar. So it should now at least just pull over. Yeah, it does, look. So there's no reason why it shouldn't actually go. So let me go get some petrol. I'll come back, we'll put some fuel in and see if it won't at least fire up. First thing I might take some oil out of that machine. It's a little bit over full, but we'll see. If it all runs and drives, does what it should do, I'm quids in. I was a bit concerned that drive cable's not really moving either at the moment, so I might just have to look into that. It doesn't seem to want to be moving at all, so I think that could be a bit seized. So I'll put some penetrating lube down there as well, just whilst I'm getting the petrol, just to try and help that along. See if we can't free it up a touch. But I've got a feeling it's been sat up for a little while. That's what I think's happened. So I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, so as described earlier on, my drive cable wasn't working, so I removed I think there's 4 or 5 bolts that removed the small black tray from the back of here. There was one here, 2 over the far side, 1 in this corner, 1 in this corner. Take that tray out, and then you can then access the drive cable, which goes down through here, okay, and it's best to tip the lawnmower up onto its side, and then you can take it off the gearbox lever. Just follow the cable down, you can find it, and now I've got it feeding. So all I've done, just hang up the cable, wrapped a bag around the top of it, filled it with oil, and it's taken about half of that bag already, and it's just now dripping all the way down through. So all that oil is going down through, and it will come out eventually on that bit of cardboard there. That's when I know it's actually taking it all. So I'll put a bit more oil in there, just give that 15-20 minutes just to filter on through, and hopefully that'll be the cable then oiled, and we can then start to get it to move and then get it refitted. And this cable is about 7 foot long, so it'd be quite an expensive cable to buy this, so I don't want to be buying another cable for this if I can help it, but this will definitely help it get lubricated. And they do actually have little tiny moisture caps on these, so it does actually stop the moisture to a degree getting in. But it's always best just to try and grease these cables up if you can. So let me get that greased up. Let me get the oil running out the bottom of there. Once we have, we're going to refit it. So I'll be back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, so now all the cable's been put back on, all been oiled, refitted, and now, as you can see, she now runs. So it was a bit stuck on the gearbox lever as well, but the cable itself was all dry. So that's now been fully oiled and now runs absolutely beautiful, and the Deadman's cable now works as well, so super happy with that. So all we've got to do now is put that little tiny plastic cover back on here again. That's only 4 bolts. Get them put back on, and go and get some petrol, and we're good to go, ready to fire this old girl up. So I was talking to Kenny, right, Ken Small Engines. He said that 850 is about a 4.5 horse, but you can't call it 4.5 horse anymore. It's a 190cc. But there you go. But it's still a big engine, commercial grade. I cannot wait to see if this thing runs up. If it does, we're quids in for the season. Right, so it's done. Let's give it a go, shall we? This ground is so wet, man. It is so wet. Right, let's put the old grass box on it. The grass box itself is absolutely huge. I've got sort of grass with the flap out, it's just a little bit deformed. Don't know quite how I'm going to do it yet. But it does go down all the way. Right, so there it is. I've taken a bit of oil out. So as I say, this machine has come in as a as payment for fixing this other steel, which I've ordered a part for. So if it runs, drives, does everything it should do, then we're going to be quids in. Because I say, it is a serious machine. Let's let that fuel go down. Is that fuel turned on or off? As fuel turns on, HT lead's got to be off. I was mucking about a bit earlier on. It's got a champion plug in there. I've done a bit of research on these, and these sell anywhere, brand new, from 1200 quid to 700. So they are right up there. The grass box is massive. I reckon I could probably sleep in a grass box. Let's just make sure we're in shot. I need to walk really carefully around the lawn because it is so slippery and I'll end up on my back at some point. So, let's give it a run, see what it do. Hopefully, it'll all run. So, dead man in, which now works, which it wasn't doing beforehand. Minimum, maximum, it should be auto choke. Let's see what it'll do. Oh, water and exhaust. It's thinking about it. And that's because the exhaust muffler's facing up. That wants to be facing down. I think it will go. Might put a new plug in. So it starts and stops. Let's get a clamp for that. So it's been stored outside. Let's get a clamp on it. Clamp, clamp, clamp. There's one. So it's been stored outside. It's been rained on, which does no good at all. So I want a new plug. But I want to make sure the driver works and all that sort of stuff. So, drive. Very slow. I know it's working. I think the cable's a bit slow on it. So I'm just going to move the variator a bit, get the variator working. And move the variator up and down. Drive isn't brilliant, but these parts are repairable. But it is driving. Working. But I would have thought the drive would be a little bit more responsive. There's a bit more work to be done. But it could be a new belt, or the variator stuck. So I might have to take the variator off, give it a bit of a clean, because as I say, it does drive, but it's quite slow to respond. And if you do it from standing, it does nothing. Lift it up, drop it, it will go. So nothing there, lift it up, drop it, it goes on its own. So a bit of work to do. But I just purely think that's actually just a variator problem. So what's a darn good run. Moving. I think the new belt. But either way, the lawnmower wasn't running. It was a darn good service. It was a new air filter, new spark plug. Got to check out that variator drive. I think it's just wants a new belt. That's all it wants. Get that all up and running. Should be good to go. Okay, so I have just literally had a quick fault of adjusting the cable because the cable was halfway up. So I've adjusted the cable all the way to the end now, and now it wants a new plug. Now it drives. Now it drives as when just one finger. Now it's driving, and you can't put it back when the drive is on as well. So well happy with that. So the drive works and the variator works, and as I say, wants a service, but that's one lawnmower good for the season. Happy as Larry. Now time for the Stihl HS80. Okay, so there you go, there's the active lawnmower now all up and running. It does need a service. It wants a new air filter, a new spark plug, all is fine. Blade sharpener and balance. And I might just have a look at that cable on the drive and just shorten off a little tiny bit with some cable connectors and just reconnect it. That way it gives me a bit more adjustment. The cable's just stretched over time. So all in all, super happy. A nice big 21-inch, 22-inch lawnmower. Which was given to me free as part of payment, or as payment to fixing this Stihl HS80 strimmer. So the part for that is on its way, so hopefully that'll be up on a video very soon. That's got a fuel leak apparently, so I've just ordered a new fuel hose because they do tend to go on those. But all in all, I'm super happy. I've got a nice big 22-inch lawnmower to sell for next year, and that should sell pretty much day one. It is a serious bit of kit, and hopefully should start the season very well for me and my lawnmower hobby, so that'd be super cool. If you like this video, Micks Mowers and Mower Man, hit the subscribe button and whack the old bell. Set notifications to all, that way you'll be told next time I upload another video. I look forward to seeing the next episode of Micks Mowers very soon, but until then, much more importantly, take it easy.